Morning. This is Nita with a Timepiece Garden, and it's another chip day. A stack is really close to being gone. You can see it again, edge of the sidewalk. Say one day I'll come and there won't be any chips. Until then, I'll keep coming. Talk to you in a few. All right, supervisor checking out the Jeep. She's like, come on, Mom, let's get it done. Kind of. And why I say kind of is it's lunchtime. So we're going to go in the house and have some lunch, and then we'll come back and unload. PVC pipes and parts kind of down there in the corner. That goes back to the tanks. And then that way I can unload wood chips, finish my walkways, and I am pretty sure that I will have some left over, and I will probably put some wood chips up with the pears, and then from then on all wood chips go to Garden 3 and start filling in that area that's still grass that I don't need to be grass anymore. Awesomeness. All right, we're going to go have lunch first. So, talk to you in a few. Supervisor approved. Wood chips all around my walking stones. I went ahead and rearranged those and re-leveled them. Same thing with the ones that come off of there into there. Lifted them up a little, added more wood chips. Again, that's just, keep everything roughly at the same height. And over time I will find more flat stones, and I will replace the piece of wood there, and the piece of wood there, and the piece of wood there, and there's one more back here. There you go. There's like 4 pieces of wood that I just don't have stones for. So, as I get the rocks, same way I'm building the walls, as I get the rocks, I'll build them and just I know where to put the rocks. Flat ones are on walkways. Non-flat are building retaining walls. Long term, I will do the same thing with the pears. There will be a retaining wall that is roughly 2 feet, maybe 3 feet from the pear coming down the hill, and then that way I'll just continue to fill it with bark, and over time I will have a 2 foot wide flat space, so when I'm harvesting pears, it's not an issue, All right, so what's next? Well, I still have 5 bags of mulch, or not mulch, but wood chips. So 2 of them are going to go to the pears, 1 for each pear. And then the other 3, I get to start back in Garden 3, sealing off that grass. I'm enjoying this. So anyway, let me get going. And Miss Pan and I will talk to you later. All right, I fibbed just a little. Out of the 5 bags, I did 2 bags for the peaches, 2 bags for the pears. I'll go up there and show you those in a second. But I used one of the bags and did all my little pot. Again, these were here when I got here, and I've kept butterfly weed in it. And I get monarchs. If you've been with the channel, you've seen it. I get the worms, I get the chrysalises, I get the butterflies. I tend to call this Butterfly Alley. But I don't water this. This is all natural. I will come by with a weed eater and weed eat some of these tall grasses down. But otherwise, daylilies and the naked ladies and the butterfly weed and the butterfly bush. Does that make sense? This stuff it naturalizes. Having said that, a little bit of wood chip makes it easier. So I used one of the bags and wood chipped all of the planters there. And the Rosa Sharon here, obviously, that just quite made it. You can't miss the green leaves. Went ahead and did him or her. I didn't do this one yet. He's not leafed out. He might not have made it. So I didn't do him yet. Because again, I'll wait for stuff like that when I'm done with everything else. Do the stuff that I know is living and that made it through the winter, all the way down to our little, 8 degrees. Take care of those. Stuff that didn't make it, don't waste my time with. Having said that, pears. Oh, yes, isn't that pretty? So again, he got his mulch ring. Now, I don't mulch up against the wood chips, not mulch. I don't mulch up against or wood chip up against his base. Does that make sense? We're not trying to bring critters there that's going to kill the fruit tree. So there's that dip there that there's nothing there, but the rest of this is all, I mean, you can see from the pile, it's thick. 6 inches easy, you know? And that's so his roots have no competition for food or water. It also prevents them from drying out. And then I did the same thing with all the daffodils that I planted. I went ahead and gave them each a little wood chip ring. And then when you hear me talking about making my 14-foot walking space, there should be a walking space from this pole all the way down to that pole. And from the pole view, should be the pole, the tree, and then this should be at least 2 feet before that rock actually starts. It's too close right now, but I've not measured it out yet. And there should be a row of rocks. And what I'll do is I will keep mulching till this area right here, this little 2-foot, 3-foot area, is flat. And I'll mulch it every year to keep it flat until there's just a nice little pile of dirt, 14 feet long. Does that make sense? Where I can walk with a bag or a bucket and harvest the fruit and be walking on level ground. You know, and because of the way I'm training them in the espalier way, I will never need a ladder up here. You know, and I'm 57 now. At 77, this will still be easy. That gives me 20 years to get this flat and get a little stair step coming up the hill. Same thing on that one. Get a little stair step going from that one to this one, and a little stair step down. You know, I have plenty of rocks. Yeah, there's one. There's one. I have plenty of rocks. I have more rocks than I have vegetables on the hillside here. It's just moving them and finding ones that are large enough that when the armadillos and the possums are up here trying to dig and look for look for grubs or whatever, they're not digging up my stuff. They're not digging up moving the rocks. You know? All right, so anyway, I got 2 bags left. They're going to garden 3. He's doing his leaf out thing. So again, they tend to leaf at different times because they're not the same species. Where that one is, you can't miss it. He's in full leaf. You know, he leaves a little later, he fruits a little later. She's doing good. All right, let me go finish moving bags, and I will talk to you later. All right, garden 3. Whoop, whoop. 2 bags. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna start up here with the hazelnuts. You figure they're the only trees that don't have a, how do I say this, wood hugelkultur log frame around them, just because I didn't have any more rotten logs. So all they have are just the compost and the paper that, you know, to try and keep them under semi-control. That is a big fat bumblebee. Do you see him? Just a big fatty. Just a big fatty. Loving all the flowers. Anyway, so that's kind of what I've decided to do is I'm going to go ahead and increase his paper cardboard ring. Not cover my daffodils, and then go ahead and give a bag of chips to each of them. This one and that one. And that way, the 2 of them will look very similar to how my elderberries look and my comfrey look. Just very, very well protected, very well chipped. Now I know it's going to take me at least 2 more trips to take care of all of the grass. So that's okay. That's 16 bags. And then having said that, it's like, where do you start? I don't start up here. Kind of. And kind of do and kind of don't. I am not going to do it this trip because I only have 2 bags and I've got 2 elderberries, or not elderberries, but hazelnuts, and that's what they go with. At some point in time, I am going to have to come back and start spreading some chips out, just kind of in between where I've got stuff growing that's coming up. You know, can that wait 4 days? Yes, it can. The hazelnuts can wait 4 days. Excuse me. But I think the hazelnuts long-term will benefit from the chips, you know, now. And then I figure when I'm done chipping, I'll end up watering. So let me get busy. Got lots to do. Saying these pretty. Yellow on yellow. I know they're late for a daffodil, but these are the daffodils that I got on sale. 5 bulbs for like $3.50 because I got them, you know, after planting season. So they're coming up late, and I'm okay with that. Keep them watered, but that's a pretty color, isn't it? So I think those are the only ones that are in bloom. I've got some, there you go, way up there by the elderberry. There's a yellow on white. Pretty yellow on white, or an orange on white. Anyway, those are the only ones that have bloomed so far, which is, again, okay. The whole point was to get them in the ground, let their grass pieces come up, and it'll help feed the bulbs, and next year they will all bloom. That hazelnut pretty. All right, let me get to barking. Talk to you in a few. Alrighty. Hazelnut added cardboard, daffodils, etc. Same thing on that one. I had a little left over. So at the far side, the broccoli right there. There you go. That's where I went ahead and put it. Just a little left over. I did that because that corner tends to get a little more sun. Now, in the morning, sunrise, that whole side of the garden is covered by the trees. Morning sunlight is cooler. By the time we hit afternoon, it's just like it is now, it's in full sun. And like that oak tree, shades this area where those 2 buckets are, and that's where the other broccoli is. It shades it a little in the afternoon, so it doesn't get as much high heat sunlight as that area does. So I just went ahead and stuck it there. So what am I going to do? I'm going to clean up from cardboard and wood chips. I'm going to turn on the water, add a bunch of water to the tank. And while it's adding water to the tank, I'm going to water the garden out of the buckets here. Makes sense? And then I can take the water down from the tank and refill the buckets. They're still talking rain in like 2 days, but it's like 30%. And they play with it. 30%, 50%, 30%, 50%, whatever. If we're below 50%, I know I don't get rain. So I'm going to water, I'm going to fill the buckets, and I will talk to you later.